So I thought this would be kind of an interesting thing to talk about, and I want to get into this with media, with television shows and movies. What makes a movie or television show successful? Is it storytelling? Having storytelling up front, having heroes, having great villains, having people to cheer on, and knowing what their causes are, what drives them, having evil villains and knowing what their drives are and what they want to do, what's their end goal and stuff like that. Having that up front, or having the message, like Critical Drinker likes to call it, saying the message, or an agenda or representation when it comes to different media. What takes more precedent? Is it better to have a movie with a message but not really good storytelling, or have good storytelling up front and have representation, have a message, have an agenda behind it? Which one does better? And we're gonna kind of get into that. I'm gonna give you guys my opinion about it, but also too, let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think about these different comparisons I'm gonna be making. First off, the two movies that we're going to be comparing is Top Gun Maverick and Lightyear, which it's kind of funny now that I'm thinking about it. The two movies that the TV show and the movie that we're going to be kind of critiquing when it comes to just the critical reception that it's getting, are coming from Disney. So I don't know what that tells you, but it is interesting to see nonetheless what movies are getting, very built up and a lot of different hype and excitement for, and it's doing very well in the movie theater. And also too, when it comes to television shows, whether it's on Disney Plus or even Amazon Prime, with the example of The Boys, which I'm going to be championing nonstop. The Boys is an amazing television show. But when it comes to these different things, man, you can tell that in certain media, in certain movies and television shows, the storytelling is the pinnacle and the one thing that they're trying to get you entertained. They're trying to get you involved and invested in these characters. And on the other hand, not so much. They want to push the message, but storytelling is kind of held back here in the back, and the storytelling is just kind of it's lackluster for the most part. So let's get into it. But again, like I said, let me in the comments below. I might be right, I might be wrong, I don't know, but let me in the comments below what you guys think about it. So let's talk about Top Gun Maverick. And I will say this, I'm not a huge Tom Cruise fan. There's certain things I like him in, some things not so much, but I will say this, Top Gun Maverick was an amazing show, and you can actually see it on here for how much they have made since the movie's come out, which I think it's like a month old now, but $1 billion that has been bringing in. It's funny to know there's been so many people, at least on Twitter, that I've seen, they've seen Top Gun Maverick several times, and I totally get it. As somebody that, again, like I said, not a huge Tom Cruise fan, I know I might get flogged in the comment section for just saying that, but the storytelling and the visuals, the cinematography that's in this movie was amazing. Now, I will say this, at least when it comes to storytelling, very similar to the first Top Gun, but kind of seeing what Tom Cruise's character and seeing how he's evolved through the years since the first Top Gun movie, and seeing what he has to deal with in Top Gun Maverick is really cool. And also too, what the stakes are and what their mission is. I think it's a really good kind of retelling, I guess, of the story. I would compare these two, I guess, to New Hope and The Force Awakens, where, they're pretty much very similar in movies. But I will say Top Gun Maverick actually does a very good job of being able to tell a good story. And the funny thing is that the storytelling is up front, but also too, the representation in this movie is, I would say, really, really well done. A lot of great actors. Some of them I have not heard of, but the amount of characters that are in this movie, and not, I don't even care, what they look like, who they are and whatnot, are very well done in this thing. I really enjoy all the characters that are in this movie, and I think Top Gun Maverick is able to tell a good storyline and even have this representation in the movie. But the storytelling, getting involved in the story, getting involved in the characters, what's the driving factors of the characters? What makes them go this way? What makes them go that way? What are the things that make them tick, is something that is pushed forward and up front in Top Gun Maverick. But representation is still there. And again, it's very well done in how these characters are built up. And I think that's the reason why Top Gun Maverick is doing so well. I think the storytelling of Top Gun Maverick is the one driving factor that's getting butts in seats in the movie theaters. Again, like I said, there's been people on Twitter that's been seeing this movie multiple different times because it's a good, enjoyable movie. And I'm going to say this, man, the practical effects and the cinematography on how they do the jet fighting and just flying around is amazing. And I if you have not seen Top Gun Maverick, it is very well done, and I think you should definitely give it a try. So again, let's go into this as well. The Boys. Now, I will say this, man. The Boys ain't for kids, man. It's a superhero TV show, but it's definitely not for kids. But my gosh, man. We are in our 3rd season now. It's getting a 4th season after this one. The biggest thing that, there's been getting built up was Herogasm, which was the previous, or I guess the latest episode that's out right now. But oh my god, man. By far, about the most entertaining television show that I've seen in quite some time. Now, I will say this, for a lot of people that have, started off watching The Boys, it was a very slow build up, the first couple of episodes, but man, it took off, I think around 4th or 5th episode in season 1, and honestly, to me, has not let up. A lot of great characters in this thing, but again, like I said, the storytelling in the Boys, they're going off a comic book and whatnot, but The Boys and the storytelling in this television show is amazing, and the characters and what their drives are and what their reasons are, even with the 3rd season in Mother's Milk, MM was what he's also called, and seeing what afflicts him, and seeing what's been causing him pain, or even with this season and seeing what A-Train is having to deal with. My gosh, man, the storytelling is so damn funny. The dark humor in this thing is very enjoyable if you like dark humor, and it really does go off of a lot of stuff that's happening in current times. It really does draw in a lot of stuff, whether modern political issues or modern day problems that we're facing now. The Boys actually brings in a lot of that stuff, which is the funny thing about it, is because it does draw in a lot of great storytelling and you building up of these different characters. But on the other hand, the representation, the messages, the agenda that it's wanting to push in there, when it comes to modern day politics and stuff like that, it flushes in there. But I would say that's not a hindrance whatsoever. It actually, again, what those things that are getting pushed into it totally helps build up these characters. It helps build up the story and continues to make great storytelling. But again, going into just representation alone, there are a lot of great characters in this show it's even funny to know out there. If you've watched the latest episode of of The Boys with Herogasm, something happens to A-Train, and I'm like, what? Is my man, is he good? Like is he gonna be in the next episode? Like, what's going on? There are things in here where even the biggest POS in here, and none of these characters are safe. Everyone everyone has a good point. Everybody does something bad and stuff like that. Everyone kind of goes back and forth when it comes to bad decisions, good decisions, and whatnot. Hero and villain, again, like kind of in the real world where it's not black and white. It's shades of gray. And this television show is able to knock that off really well when it comes to storytelling, but also having representation and agenda and a message at the forefront with storytelling. So again, storytelling might be up here, but their agenda, representation, everything is right here, but that storytelling is leading it and is making a very well-rounded television show that I could not praise anymore. I think The Boys is a great show that I think everyone should watch. All right, so now let's get into that. So that's my 2 examples of television show and movies that are doing well when it comes to great storytelling, but also having a message or having representation, being up there as something that's extremely important in what they're wanting to push. Again, great storytelling, but it's still following up there to where, they're still wanting to push something to make it to where it's still important, but that storytelling has, has that top notch of being the most important thing. Now let's get into Lightyear. Now, again, like I said, these are 2 examples coming from Disney. Again, we're just kind of going into the most recent examples of what I'm kind of being talking about. And honestly, it's funny to know that Lightyear it's being kind of a bust for Disney. Now, I will say, I think a lot of, hold on, let me take that back. I don't know if a lot of the criticism for the movie is the same-sex kiss. I know they're wanting to build that up. It's like, oh man, that's the reason why, people are not going to see it. It's because we have representation of a same-sex kiss, and that's what, is driving people to not show it. You know what? That might be for some. Even with Disney taking the Lightyear out of the Middle East markets and not showing it in the Middle East, that might have an effect for some people. But overall, the funny thing is even getting into the Rotten Tomatoes criticism of the movie, the storytelling is not well done. Even with the amount of different reviews on YouTube, when it comes to the storytelling, the reason why you want to go to the movies, the reason why, there you go, that you want to watch movies and television shows is because you want to be entertained entertained. You want to have a good story up front where you see the hero, you see the progression, you see exactly kind of what's going on with the hero development, fighting a villain, and you want that storytelling to be up front and make you entertained and make you kind of invested on the storyline and the heroes and the villains and stuff like that were going on. When it comes to Lightyear and going through just the top criticism, I'm not going through all audiences because that'll be wide range and I'm not going to worry about it. But when it comes to the top criticisms of this, the top critics only go after the storyline of the movie. They don't actually talk about the same-sex kiss that Disney's been wanting to build up on, the reason why that it did not get the attention that apparently other movies get when it comes to having, certain representations in that. It's very funny to see that from top critics saying that it's a storyline that is just suffering and really bad. Again, I don't understand that whatsoever, and we'll get into Obi-Wan Kenobi, but Lightyear is just suffering off of its storytelling, and a lot of people are kind of getting off of that, or getting off of that information, going, yeah, I'm not going to go to the movies. The amount of reviews that I watch a little bit before going to see a movie, I'm trying not to get into spoilers and stuff like that when I watch movie reviews, but I just want to see what people are thinking about it, or even getting on Rotten Tomato and reading reviews. I want to see what people are thinking about the movie, and then go make my own if I'm willing to go see it and stuff like that. But when it comes to this, I wouldn't be wanting to go see Lightyear just because of the storytelling alone. If people are saying, the storytelling is bad, well, I'll just wait till it comes on Disney Plus to see it. I'm not going to waste money on a movie ticket to go see it. Storytelling is what's going to get people in seats. When it comes to pushing a message or having representation, that's good. But you gotta have storytelling up front to get people involved. And honestly, looking at Lightyear, Lightyear is not a good example of that by any means. All right, so now let's get into this. Let's talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi. Again, one of the most recent examples of storytelling, in my personal opinion, taking a backseat. Now, you might be mad at me for saying that, but for me, watching the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and I've talked about it several times through videos, the storytelling in Obi-Wan Kenobi is just not great. There are parts here and there that are really, okay. I think in this Obi-Wan Kenobi fight with Darth Vader, there's an emotional scene at the end with Obi-Wan that literally just, that was worth it. Like, the emotional reaction that Ewan McGregor was able to do with Obi-Wan Kenobi pushed it to where, like, oh my gosh, like, I felt that, and that was good storytelling. But overall, the entire series never made an argument for the reason why it needed to exist. The storytelling was poor. Now, the one thing that was just very interesting to see, especially when it comes to what was initially pushed out, like, this is literally May 31st. The Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi series had only been out for a few days, but for some reason, I don't know why. Hold on, let me turn that down. I did not know that was playing. But the funny thing is that for some reason, Disney Star Wars was really just saying, you know what? We have some racist Star Wars fans because they don't like Moses Ingram. And it was pushed heavily just in the first few days of the movie or the TV show coming out. And I'll say this, I don't think that's the case. There's going through the different things. Yes, there might be like the smidgen here or there people that are racist in the fandom. But I would say overall, the people that were having criticism over the character of Reva, not Moses Ingram as the actor, but the character of Reva, and the criticism they have for it, I would say merit some validity. The character was not very well done, and I think that goes into the storytelling of the TV show. The storytelling was not good in the beginning, and leading that storytelling into the character just, and the motivation, stuff like that, was just not well told. The motivation might be good, with wanting her to have revenge on Darth Vader, but just how it was done in the movie, in the TV show, the storytelling just was not there. The representation was there, and the agenda and whatever they want to, Disney is wanting to push is there, but the storytelling is just not there. And I think if the storytelling was there, Reva would have been a great character, and I think a lot of people would have liked to, just seeing what her motivations were and stuff like that. If it was told just a little bit better than I think it was done in the television show. But again, representation was again done somewhat well in Obi-Wan Kenobi, because I think everybody loved the character. Somebody pretending to be a Jedi was hysterical, and I don't know this actor's name off the top of my head, but I think he did a really good job. And I think this is actually one thing that I even made a tweet about, saying, wow, that would be a really fun, television show. It's somebody that is acting like faking as a Jedi. I think it'd be a great television show to watch. But again, the storytelling in Obi-Wan Kenobi was just not there. And the funny thing is kind of getting into it, just in this clip alone of Obi-Wan Kenobi smuggling Leia underneath a trench coat. I'm going to tell you right now, that's not really good storytelling. That is about the goofiest thing. And I know some people, oh, Star Wars has always been goofy. I don't know, not that goofy, but anyway, just at least wanted to show you guys a couple of things when it comes to Top Gun Maverick and how storytelling is done in that, and representation and the message, the boys having great storytelling, having great representation. But when it comes to Lightyear, and having representation, but the storytelling is just awful, at least when it comes to critics of the movie. And having the Obi-Wan Kenobi series having representation, but again, like I said, the storytelling was not great. Why were these things suffering, and why is it when it comes to different media, television shows, movies, or even games and stuff like that, why is representation and a message pushed up higher than having good storytelling? I don't know, but for some reason, Hollywood is going towards that, where agenda and representation is up there. But again, like I said, it's not bad having those things, but storytelling is what keeps people involved. Storytelling is what keeps people in their seats in the movie theater and keeps them invested in characters and the storyline ahead. I don't know, but that's just me as somebody that watches movies and TV shows. That's the one thing at least that keeps me watching. But let me know in the comments below what you guys think about it. What keeps you invested in movies, and what do you kind of think about the comparisons that I made between The Boys and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and when it comes to Top Gun and Lightyear? What do you guys think about those two comparisons? Let me know in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please have a great rest of the day. Look forward to talking to you guys all next time.